Now, these days we personalise everything, from phones to cars, but have you ever thought as far ahead as a personalised coffin? Well, one Liverpool-based artist is trying to make that possible for people without charging the earth. Gina Chanetski set up the Last Wish company to provide an alternative coffin to the traditional, expensive and often environmentally harmful ones that currently rule the market. Gina has developed a quarter-size model of the 100% biodegradable MyPod and wants to generate crowdfunding to take her unique design to the mass market.
This journey started about 20 years ago when my dad died, and we put him in what was the cheapest MDF coffin. Mock Victorian, didn't represent anything about him, and it was fantastically expensive. But the funeral director came with his catalogue with a very much of an attitude of the more you spend, the more you love someone. So that was 20 years ago, and then jump forward to a couple of years ago, a friend of mine was talking about the will she'd made and that she put £5,000 at a bar for everybody to have a good drink, and she planned everything, and she'd lived independently most of her life. And we decided to make her a coffin. Now she likes cats, Egyptology and all that, so I made her what I think is this kind of ridiculous, mad sphinx out of papier-mâché covered with poems of her favourite authors and books. The more people saw it, the more I realised, well actually, let's develop this into other types of shapes that express other people's things. So I applied for Arts Council funding to make 10 prototypes that express different people's lives. So it's the story of those 10 people. But along the way I realised they were essentially quite expensive to make. Like anybody can have a bespoke coffin if you can afford between £5,000 and £8,000. That wasn't the way I wanted to go. So I went on the journey of trying to find something that was mass producible. And mass producible in a way that it was the most environmentally sustainable, not the MDF coffins that you can buy, and also the supposed environmentally friendly ones like bamboo that require international transport, not necessarily as strong as they should be. All that kind of stuff, and the stigma about cardboard coffins. So I wanted to find something that was new material, environmentally sustainable, probably the best you can get in carbon neutrality. It was mass producible and it was really strong. And we found a material eventually through a really weird route. We've made this quarter scale prototype with a hammock in it, which also can be used as a separate shroud. And with this material, the beauty is that you can actually cover it and finish it however you want. So we've got a number on display which are kind of matte white, shiny white. We've got a silver bullet, but you can actually transfer photographs onto it. You can add sculptural forms. It's really strong, it's scratch resistant, they're stackable, they're lightweight, they're easy to carry and handle, so it doesn't require 6 blokes all of the same height to carry them. Everybody can participate in that process now. But the real thing is it becomes meaningful, not only as a statement about environmental sustainability and modernity, but because you can personalise it, or because you've got a choice to buy something that's not mock Victorian, it's empowering. Decorating the pods, if people don't want to do it themselves, there's a whole host of freelance artists that can come and help do that. So it's hopefully providing employment for local creative graduates as well. We're all ready to go. We've got the manufacturing chain set up. All we need now is investment to get to the full-scale tooling for the 5 different sizes and go into production, and then we're set really. So we're looking at raising that crowdsource campaign in the next month.